This video is going to cover adding employees in Control. We're going to cover where we access employee setup in Control, adding employees and subgroups. We'll talk about setting up user logins and finish up by talking about security levels for your employees. To add employees into Control, you go to Setup, Employee Setup. The first thing to note on this screen, if we look over on the left, is that the employees are set up under various subcategories. The primary category being company, and then we have, in this particular setup, subcategories of admin, CSR, production, sales, and service techs. The process to add an employee to Control is as follows. Suppose we're going to hire a new customer service representative. We would want to highlight the subcategory CSR and select New Employee. On the New Employee screen, we're going to add their names, and like most other parts of Control, the only fields that are required will be the fields in blue. Position will be that employee's position as you define it. Department as well will be whatever department that employee works in. Reports to is an optional field that you can select the person that they will directly report to. You can add phone numbers here, contact information. The report menu field will define what reports that particular employee is going to have access to. For most people, the report menu should be set to production unless they are administrators. Use of the system is defined here. They are defined as, in this case, John Signmaker will be an active employee. He is not a salesperson. We will show him on the time clock. We will create a calendar for John, and we will also show him on line items. Also on the employee setup screen, there will be fields to enter the license number and tax ID number of that employee, what type or the employee's current status, regular, contract, on leave, or prior, fields for hire date and termination dates. These are all optional fields that do not have to contain any information if you don't have it handy or you're not going to use it at all. The next tab is the area where you enter that employee's personal information, home address, as well as their personal phone numbers and emergency contact information. Next tab will provide you with an area to store their signature, as well as an image of that individual in the database. And the last tab is for scheduling. The Include in Payroll option will only appear on your employee setup screen if you're using Sirius's payroll module. If not, it'll be grayed out. At this point, we have all of the information that we need to save the employee file, so we're going to save, and we're going to get a confirmation screen that says time clock requires that the employee have a username. Do you wish to create one now? Yes or no? Do select yes for the most part. If the employee is going to be logging in and using the time clock, the answer to this question is always going to be yes. And it's going to bring you to this next screen where, as you can see, the login name for the user has already been picked, which is by default the first initial last name. You can enable the user login here. You can set their passwords, and with this option, force them to reset the password on next login. The option to can log into Control will determine whether or not that user can access the system. The other part of employee setup is setting the security template for them. For most non-admin users, and the default setting is set to standard, which allows the user to do most everything that they need in the program without accessing admin reports and admin functions. Now, while you can create security templates as well as customize security templates in great detail, most people find that the built-in security templates in Control are adequate for their businesses. Okay, at this point, we're going to click OK here, and the new employee record is going to be created. John Seinmaker is listed under the company category, and he is going to be CSR, so what we would want to do is move him back down to the CSR subgroup, and to do that we will edit his record and simply select CSR and save. The subgroups do not have any impact on security setup or any other special function in employee setup. They're just used for keeping the employees organized or categorized into that particular employee's job. In the event that you need a subcategory that is not already in the system, you can add one by going to click on the primary category, the company category, selecting New Employee Subgroup, naming the new subgroup, and saving it. A final note on editing employee records is when editing the normal part of the employee record, you're going to use your normal edit button on the right action bar here. This will permit you to change any of the data on the employee screens. However, to change login information or security template information, you're going to come down here to this square security info box, select Edit User, and it will bring the login window back up where you can then edit login name, passwords, as well as the security templates. By clicking OK here, that data will automatically be saved. After you add your employee or employees to the system, hitting Close here on the action bar will close the employee setup screen and return you back to your home screen. And that concludes this video.